Hi everyone, I'm Major. In this video, let's take a look at the combined cabinet for ArchiWood. Okay, let's still use the order model we talked about earlier. This wardrobe model as an example to explain it to you. We can see that after this model is created, it is not a whole. Why? Because we can see that these boards are separate. This is a separate cabinet, and this is a top ceiling board. So, it is not a whole. In this video, is to turn all of these into a whole, which is what we call a combined cabinet. Its operation method is very simple. After selecting all of them, right-click the context menu that pops up. We can see that there is an option called Create Composite Cabinet. Of course, here, we can see a custom cabinet. So, this custom cabinet and the combined cabinet is very closely related. In the later videos, we will talk about this custom cabinet and the combined cabinet. Okay, now, we need to turn it into a whole. Just click Create Combined Cabinet, and then the pop-up panel. We can name it. For example, it is a wardrobe, and name it Wardrobe, and then click OK. In this way, it becomes a whole. So the operation of the combined cabinet mentioned in this video is like this. It's very simple. After the operation, remember to save the model. Press Ctrl and S. In this way, the operation is completed. Of course, there may be some more complicated situations. In our subsequent videos, we will talk about some more complex situations. For example, now, we have already made a combined cabinet, which is correct. We may have made some modifications to the cabinet. For example, we add some designs. We add a board to it. Well, this board and the cabinet. To become a whole, then we need to create a custom cabinet, or a combined cabinet. At this time, we select them together by right-clicking, and click the context menu that pops up, and click Create Combined Cabinet. Click OK, and you will find that it doesn't work, right? For this situation, we just need to cut the separately created piece, or a few additional panels, and cut it with Ctrl plus X. Then, we double-click. Enter the editing state of the cabinet, the editing state of the combined cabinet, then click on the point paste under the edit menu. In this way, we can paste it in. Okay, let's exit the group editing state. It is still a whole. So, we can solve it like this. When it comes to such a separate board, when we are drawing, especially after we have processed it, we may need to make some modifications to the cabinet. If there are some separate boards, we must not let it appear as a separate board. If, in an order, there is a separate board, it is an irregular operation. If this separate board belongs to the current cabinet, we need to combine it with the cabinet. To combine them, to make it a whole. Okay, now we select the individual board and the combined cabinet on the left, and select the right button together. We just talked about creating a combined cabinet. Here, there is also a Create Custom Cabinet. We click Create Custom Cabinet, but it doesn't work. At this time, you may ask, what is the difference between and the combined cabinet body below? What is the function of it? And what's the difference? For users who are just starting to learn to build ArchiWood, may not be familiar with the combined cabinet, especially the hierarchical relationship inside. Through this PPT, on this page, we can see its hierarchical relationship. The board we create is just a single board. If we want to combine multiple boards, to combine them, at this time, we need to use custom cabinets. If we have multiple custom cabinets, we need to create a combined cabinet. So, the combined cabinet is the last level. Okay, in order to make it easier for you to understand, we will demonstrate it in SketchUp. First, we draw a face in the drawing area. Select the face and right-click it, and click the context menu that pops up. We can click the Face to Board button. Here, you can name the board, and directly click OK. In this way, we have created a board. For this board, we can use the Edit Parameter panel to see its corresponding attributes. We can see that we are currently selecting a plate. So, here, the red text displays that we are currently selecting a board. Okay, we can duplicate the board. Now, we can create more panels. and then convert it into a plate part. After generating, and then we can create it. If there are more and more, if we splice more and more panels, it can form a cabinet. But for this kind of cabinet, it is assembled from scattered panels. So we can see, it is a single piece of board. So how can we turn these individual panels into a whole? This is what we call a custom cabinet. The method to create a custom cabinet is also very simple. We just select the scattered boards. Right-click, and the context menu that pops up, and click Create Custom Cabinet. Then we can here, and give it a name. After naming it, click OK. At this time, click it again. It can select all the parts at once, which means it has become a whole. At this time, we can see here, it will show that we are selecting a cabinet. Then this cabinet, which is the custom cabinet we just created. So, we are in the process of using ArchiWood modeling. We must not let the model have single pieces of panels, but a whole. We can create a custom cabinet. Create a custom cabinet. In this way, it becomes a whole. This is the correct operation. If there are single pieces of boards, we usually think this operation is not standardized and is wrong. In our actual work, we may encounter more complex situations. For example, the cabinet we create may not be composed of a single cabinet, but rather composed of multiple cabinets. At this time, we need to use the operation of combined cabinet. We have multiple custom cabinets here. They are not a whole now. We need to turn them into a whole. What should we do? After selecting all, right-click, and the context menu that pops up, we can click Create Composite Cabinet. OK, at this time, a panel pops up. We can here, to give it a name, we can write, this is a combined cabinet, and click OK. In this way, it becomes a whole. This whole thing is a combined cabinet. We can see here that we are selecting a combined cabinet. So, for the PPT just now, we should be able to see very intuitively, our single board should not appear in our order. We suggest that we create a custom cabinet. To create a custom cabinet, in this way, it becomes a whole. This is correct. Of course, if there are multiple custom cabinets, we can also combine multiple custom cabinets into a combined cabinet. Okay, let's finally go back to SketchUp and make a small summary with you. If we use the model created by ArchiWood, it is a whole. We can see that now. We create a model. It is a whole. Then, this model. It is correct. If we are outside this model, for example, there is a top windboard outside it. For example, it has a 60-degree windward board. Well, for this windward board, it and the cabinet below, they are separate. It is not a whole. At this time, we need to use the method we mentioned earlier to combine it into a cabinet. Right-click the context menu that pops up. We can, to perform the operation of combining cabinets, click, and then name it here, and then click OK. In this way, it becomes a whole. Sometimes, a complex cabinet. It may be composed of multiple sub-cabinets. For example, the storage cabinet in the living room. The living room is long, so this cabinet may be relatively long. It may be composed of multiple small cabinets, or multiple sub-cabinets to form it. There may be a set of such sub-cabinets. We can also combine the cabinets to operate it. For this kind of sub-cabinet, after we draw it, we can see that they are all separate now. Separately, we can select all of them. Right-click the pop-up context menu and select Group Cabinets. In this way, we can combine this set of cabinets into a whole. Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you, all.